It's time to take a look at what's happening around Wyoming for Tuesday, July 2nd. I'm Wendy Corr, bringing you headlines from the Cowboy State Daily newsroom, presented by Cheyenne Frontier Days. Starting July 19th, from sunup to sundown, there's something for everyone. Check it out at cfdrodeo.com. Dino Nobel in Cheyenne made headlines last year when it lost 30 tons of explosive ammonium nitrate. While no official explanation has been offered, it's been posited that the compound somehow leaked out of the rail cars between Cheyenne and Saltdale, California. Cowboy State Daily's Pat Mayo and two industry experts Monday observed rail cars of the chemical the company is holding in the abandoned town of Saltdale, and Pat says the geologists he was with had concerns with the official story.
The words I heard were something's wrong with the accounting system, or secondly, there's no security. I mean, we're talking about tons and tons and tons of ammonium nitrate that's kept behind a barbed wire fence that I drove right into right after the padlock was opened up. The company, Dino Nobel, the railroad that transported the ammonium nitrate there, all being quiet about what happened. You know, I personally would like to know, where did it leak out? Did it really leak out?
The loss of the fertilizer is concerning to federal law enforcement authorities. Ammonium nitrate was a key chemical used in the bomb that terrorist Timothy McVeigh built to blow up a federal building in Oklahoma City in 1995. A retired biologist took the only known video of a rare white bison calf born in Yellowstone on June 4th, and he shared it with Cowboy State Daily on Sunday. But nobody has seen the white bison since, according to outdoors reporter Mark Hines.
Some Native Americans, some elders from the Sioux Nation did hold a ceremony. I think it was last week to commemorate this, because Native American tradition, this is a big deal when a white bison calf is born. They see it as both a blessing and a warning.
The odds of a white bison calf are about 1 in a million, according to the Park Service. The agency also stated that there hadn't been any confirmed sightings of the calf since that first day. Wyoming residents can expect Mother Nature to rain on their parades, along with their barbecues and campouts, for this week's 4th of July celebrations. The Independence Day forecast is cool and damp across Wyoming, and it might last long enough to delay the evening fireworks in some parts on the 4th, according to Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi.
Overnight Wednesday and into Thursday morning, it's going to be rainy and cold, up to 15 degrees lower than average in northern Wyoming, and then that's going to shift towards southern Wyoming as we go through the day. So it should be gone in time for fireworks that evening, but there's no guarantees.
There might even be some snow flurries at the highest points of the Beartooth Highway and the Bighorn Mountains on Thursday morning. Happy 4th of July, indeed. I'll be back in just 15 seconds with more news.
In southwest Wyoming, wide open space is waiting. This is how we explore it. In Rock Springs and Green River, Wyoming. Plan your adventure at explorewy.com.
Former President Donald Trump is largely immune from being prosecuted criminally for official acts he took during his tenure. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled Monday that the former president is absolutely immune from being prosecuted for things he did to fulfill the U.S. Constitution's presidential duties. Cowboy State Daily's Claire McFarland spoke to Wyoming experts who have opinions on both sides of the issue.
I spoke to State Representative Ken Chestic, who's a longtime attorney and has been very invested in this whole process, and it could lead to some dystopias. On the other hand, former Wyoming Supreme Court Justice Bill Hill said this is actually correcting the kind of skimpy, not much homework job that the district court did when this was first brought to it.
Proponents of Monday's ruling say it's vital to prevent political witch hunts and preserve the nation's separation of governmental powers. Detractors say it places Trump and future presidents above the law and above the people they're elected to serve. Governor Mark Gordon announced Monday that Wyoming will join 25 other states in a lawsuit against President Joe Biden's administration. This time, it's over new EV standards that require auto manufacturers to produce electric vehicles. Politics reporter Leah Wolfson spoke to local car dealers who say they support the lawsuit.
I spoke to Dallas Terrell, who owns a major car dealership in Cheyenne, to get his reaction to the lawsuit. And he said he supports it. Even though his dealership sells electric vehicles, he believes the federal government should not be putting down mandates that are trying to encourage people to buy electric vehicles and the companies that make them to make them.
Under the new rules announced June 7th, fuel economy for gas-powered vehicles must increase 2% per year for passenger cars and trucks. Some believe these standards could gradually phase out the production of gas-powered vehicles. And a dog found injured and starving in a holding tank in Worland is finding her footing again. Cowboy State Daily's Andrew Rossi says Libby, as the Wyoming Pitbull Post Rescue named her, is between 3 and 4 years old and is still recovering from her ordeal.
They don't know how Libby, short for Liberty the dog, got into this pit, but it was a concrete-lined pit that was several feet deep. They said she was about over 12 feet down there. They had to get a ladder to go get her. And she's not going to have an issue finding a home, because I've gotten a ton of emails of people interested in adopting her, and I just wrote the story. So hopefully she's going to find a good home with good people who love her. And from what we hear, she's very sweet and just wants to be petted and loved.
And that's today's news. Get your free digital subscription to Wyoming's only statewide newspaper by hitting the daily newsletter button on cowboystatedaily.com. And you can watch this newscast every day by clicking subscribe on our YouTube channel. I'm Wendy Corr for Cowboy State Daily.